For God's sake, America already has more guns than people. How many guns do we need until everybody is safe?
To exercise their own decisions about what type of firearm they legally purchase and own.
But at the crux of this is a bureaucrat making a unilateral decision to try to turn millions of Americans into felons.
The Second Amendment, from the day it was passed, limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own.
Cabelas ammo lawsuit. All right, gather round, folks. We've got a legal showdown in the wild world of ammo and the Second Amendment. None other than Cabelas. No popcorn needed, but get ready for a roller coaster.
Our Second Amendment. It's a hell no to government trampling on our freedoms.
Our tale begins with someone underage waltzing into Cabelas and strolling out with some serious firepower. We're talking .357 Magnum and .45 ACP 200 grain. Not your average shopping list, right? Fast forward, and tragedy strikes. Now the family of the victim is pointing fingers at Cabelas, arguing they shouldn't have sold ammo to someone too young to legally buy it. Cue the legal showdown, a real-life drama where legal jargon replaces bullets. But hold on, Cabelas isn't taking this lying down. They're flexing their legal muscles, claiming they were in the clear because the ammo could be used for both handguns and rifles.
They were assaulted and shot by someone and couldn't defend themselves because their guns were taken from them.
Seizure of weapons from the homes of law-abiding American citizens.
Plus, they've got this legal fortress called the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, a superhero shield for firearm and ammo retailers, protecting them from certain lawsuits. But, and it's a big but, in our topsy-turvy political climate, even superhero shields might have some chinks. Now let's talk repercussions. If the family wins this legal match, our guide suggests it could open the floodgates for similar lawsuits, a courtroom tsunami hitting the 2A community. Unity, they say, is the key to weathering this storm. It's like a call to arms, but with legal briefs.
We have the third highest gun-related injuries in the country, 90% higher.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment.
Second Amendment protects firearms in common use at the time and also said this, quote, for lawful purposes like self-defense.
And then there's the political storm cloud looming over us. Increased gun violence, political tension. Our guide warns that it's the perfect recipe for legislative changes that could rattle the very foundation of the Second Amendment. It's like a thriller plot, but with more suits and less suspenseful music. So, there you have it, folks. Cabelas, ammo, a legal tango, and a 2A community hanging on for dear life in this roller coaster of rights and regulations. Underage purchase incident. All right, let's zoom in on this crazy incident. The kind of stuff you wouldn't believe if it wasn't right here in the legal spotlight. November 3rd, 2016. Just an ordinary day on the calendar, right? Not for Cabelas. In walks this underage individual, not old enough to legally buy a Colt one, but apparently old enough to shop for some serious firepower. What's on the shopping list, you ask? Brace yourself. .357 Magnum and .45 ACP 200 grain. Yeah, not exactly your typical convenience store purchase. It's like they were gearing up for a blockbuster action movie, but sadly, this isn't Hollywood.
If you were serious, you would acknowledge that 96% of mass public shootings happen in an area where guns are banned.
But at the crux of this is a bureaucrat making a unilateral decision to try to turn millions of Americans into felons.
The Second Amendment, from the day it was passed, limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own.
Now, the plot thickens. There's an unfortunate event. Something goes down, and tragically, a life is lost. Cut to the victim's family, who's pointing fingers faster than you can say legal drama. They're arguing that Cabelas messed up big time by selling ammo to someone not even old enough to legally buy it. It's like accusing the bartender for serving shots to a toddler. You just don't do it. So there you have it. A date that will forever be etched in the Cabelas history books. Ammo that was meant for more than just casual plinking, and a family with a bone to pick, claiming their kin shouldn't have had access to that firepower. It's courtroom chaos, and we're just getting started with this wild ride through the legal jungle. Buckle up, because we're about to see if Cabelas can talk their way out of this one. Cabelas' defense. Now let's flip the coin and check out how Cabelas is holding their ground in this legal battlefield. They've got their arsenal of arguments, and they're not shy about firing them off. First up, Cabelas is throwing down the "it's all-purpose ammo" card. Their defense is that the ammo they sold can be used in both handguns and rifles. It's like saying, hey, we're not playing favorites here, this stuff is versatile. They're basically arguing that they were within their rights to sell it, regardless of the buyer's choice of firearm.
Defund the police, and then they want to take our Second Amendment right to defend ourselves.
This rule turns law-abiding gun owners into felons is a result of unelected bureaucrats.
Change a law. They are already used to breaking the law, and the people will still do it, will continue to do it.
But that's not the only card up their sleeve. Cabelas is waving around the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, a legal shield that's like their superhero cape in the world of lawsuits. This act is their go-to defense, shielding firearm and ammo retailers from certain lawsuits. It's their way of saying, hey, we're covered by the law, and you can't just point fingers at us. Now here's where it gets spicy. Our legal guide drops a shocker. The political environment is shifting, and it's shaking things up. The once sturdy legal landscape might be facing a storm. It's like saying even the best shields can get rusty in this political thunderstorm. In other words, the changing political scene might just poke some holes in Cabelas' legal fortress.
A critical and urgent issue: gun violence in America. We're here because gun violence is destroying community.
But, Madam Speaker, guns have been prevalent in the United States of America since before our founding.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Criminals, miscreants, will always get their hands on guns.
Cabelas fighting back with claims of versatile ammo and wielding the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act like a legal lightsaber. But with the political winds blowing, who knows how strong their defense really is? It's a legal chess match, and we're all just spectators in this courtroom drama. Potential ramifications. Alright, let's talk about the big picture. What's at stake for our beloved 2A community if things go south in this legal showdown? First off, if the family wins this legal tug-of-war against Cabelas, it could be like opening Pandora's box for the 2A community. The implications could be huge. Imagine a legal domino effect where similar lawsuits start popping up like daisies. It's like one family wins, and suddenly everyone's pointing fingers at their local firearm and ammo dealers. That's a nightmare scenario for our 2A enthusiasts. Now here's where it gets real concerning. A cascade of lawsuits could mean serious trouble for the 2A community. It's not just about Cabelas, it's about setting a precedent.
Weapons and high-capacity magazines in 3 communities in 3 different states in our nation. Enough!
Percentage of the shootings were done by semi-automatic weapons or rifles. The number one weapon that they use, basic pistol.
There should be an assault weapons ban. I think it would have been up to the Ohio legislature.
If one retailer can be held accountable, who's to say others won't follow suit? It's like a legal snowball rolling down the hill. Start small, but it can turn into an avalanche real quick. Our guide stresses the need for unity in the 2A community. It's like a battle cry: unite or fall. With potential legal storms on the horizon, the community needs to stand together. It's not just about Cabelas, it's about protecting the Second Amendment as a whole. If the community fractures, it could be like handing the opposition a golden ticket to dismantle the very rights we hold dear. So here's the bottom line. This lawsuit isn't just about one retailer and one family. It's a potential game changer for the entire 2A community.
Just the firearm issue. The public health order will evolve and has...
This problem is real, and I'm grateful to be part of the solution, and I'm grateful for our governor's work in bringing together...
to exercise their own decisions about what type of firearm they legally purchase and own.
Unity is the shield we need to weather this storm. As our legal drama unfolds, let's hope the 2A community stands strong, because the Second Amendment is counting on it. Political environment and challenges facing the Second Amendment. Now let's zoom out and take a look at the broader canvas, the current political scene, and how it's throwing some serious curveballs at our beloved Second Amendment. First off, The political climate is like a stormy sea, and gun-related issues are caught right in the tempest. Our legal guide points out that we're not in Kansas anymore. Things are changing, and not necessarily in favor of the 2A community. It's like the winds of politics are blowing in a direction that could spell trouble for our rights.
For God's sake, America already has more guns than people. How many guns do we need until everybody is safe?
Most significant federal gun restrictions in decades on Friday following years of false starts and failures to tighten gun laws.
It wasn't the fully automatic machine gun that was banned in 1986. It wasn't the bump stock.
Now here's the harsh reality check. There's been an uptick in gun violence, and tension in the country is thicker than grandma's oatmeal. It's like a perfect storm brewing. The increased incidence of gun-related crimes are painting a target on the back of the Second Amendment. The opposition, they say, smells blood in the water, and that's never good news for those of us who cherish our firearms. But wait, there's more. Our guide hits us with a warning. Potential legislative changes on the horizon. It's like a thunderclap in the distance, and we're not sure if it's just a drizzle or a full-blown storm. These changes might just pose some serious challenges to our beloved Second Amendment. It's the kind of warning that makes you sit up and pay attention because our rights might be on shaky ground.
Ban weapons, ban them again, do it now, enough, do something.
That men and women in this country have the right to defend their own lives.
Criminals will always find guns.
Absolutely.
And it is the cities with the most restrictive gun policies in the country where...
In a nutshell, the political environment is like a chessboard, and the 2A community is one of the pieces in play. With the winds of change blowing and tensions high, there's a real concern that legislative moves might threaten our rights. It's like navigating through a political minefield, and the Second Amendment is at the center of it all. So as we witness this political drama unfold, it's a call to stay vigilant and brace ourselves for potential challenges ahead. The Second Amendment is in the crosshairs, and we're in for a wild ride. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.